I read the North Forker magazine today. A lot of myths about ticks. Fun reading. And and I see some of you got dressed up. Other people have their evening fleece on. Well done. Their night flannel, their best flannel. Really, truly your best flannel. Isn't that the case? And then we have some Jews. Jews and pews. I love Jews and pews. All together, so fantastic, nice to meet you. I'm psyched to come here. It was a beautiful day, obviously, beautiful drive. I came from Brooklyn. There's so many farm stands. I was like, this is a Brooklyn dream. My husband was like, is there a farm to table place we could eat? I'm like, here, it's just called table. Redundant. So yes, if I'm meeting you for the first time, hi, my name is Ophira, and every day my name is a discussion. Most recently, I had some friends in from town, and they brought someone I didn't meet. They're like, Ophira, that's made up, right? Your parents' hippies, and I was like, it's a real name. And they're like, why have I never heard it? What? Now I'm defending my name. Why have you never heard it? Why? Because it's an old Hebrew name. That didn't catch on. Okay, that's why I didn't. And very Israeli, if you know, is very Israeli, and I have an Israeli friend, and I said, well, it's popular in Israel, right? Ophira, there's like lots of Ophiras, and he went, no! Old name, nobody has it. Wow, I'm the Mabel of Jerusalem, everybody. Yeah, B'nai Bertha, right here, that's who I am. I actually put on this outfit and I turned to my husband and I said, this is sufficiently sexy, right? He was like, that is not a good combination of words, sufficiently sexy. That is not, that's like reliably hot. Is she reliably hot? Sounds like I passed it through HR. But I don't really know how I come across, kind of like post-pandemic. I feel I've aged. I feel like of course everyone's aged, but all of a sudden I'm noticing that I aged. I don't dye my hair, but I found a white hair. I was taking a shower, and then I was drying myself off, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a white hair growing out of my nipple. And I was like, what? And I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And I thought, I don't have to deal with this. I'm going to take a pair of tweezers, and I'm going to pluck it out. Yeah, I'm going to destroy the evidence, because I don't want to look at this, okay? Because I am too young to feel this old. And I grabbed my tweezers, and I was about to do it, but I had to put on my reading glasses. Yeah, they're called more vital or sexy in my entire life. Sufficiently sexy. That was sufficiently sexy. Yeah, so I don't know how I come across, and sometimes the world tells you. I went into this, there's this restaurant, bistro that just opened up, that I thought, I'll go in there. I like going to write sometimes, with a coffee in a nice place. And so I walked in to go to this place, and as I'm walking in, this guy shuffles me out, and he goes, I'm sorry, we're closed. We're closed for a special event, okay? It's a conference. And then he looks at me and goes, oh, wait a second, you're one of the organizers of the conference, right? And I just went, yeah. And he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry, come on in. He goes, you know what, you guys work so hard at putting this stuff together, and no one ever appreciates you. Let me buy you a glass of wine. And I sat there drinking a free glass of wine, thinking I used to get free drinks when I was 21 because I was like hot and young. And now I'm getting free drinks because I look overtired and overworked. So not only am I sufficiently sexy, I am planning committee hot. Okay, that's who I am. That's who I am. Yeah, people look at me and they're like, I would like to see her multitask. Give her a clipboard. This is exciting. It was also nice to hear. I came up here with my family. I am the one with a young child. I have a 6-year-old son. I know. Yeah, a 6-year-old son. I spent all day with my 6-year-old son, and I have to tell you, not for me. It's great. Right before I left, though, I gave him a kiss, and he said, your breath smells like rotten lemons, Mom. It was like, it's called gin and a twist. But it's just and I need a break, and I don't know how to get a break all the time. Last week, I lived in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and last week I was like, I'm going to take a break in the neighborhood, and so I had 2 hours. So I went to an escape room, alone, and I did not try to escape. 2 hours, by the way, is the maximum that you can be in an escape room and not try to do anything. That is the maximum. Because it was a medieval theme, and so I just sat in this medieval chair and I just stared off. And they're watching you on cameras, right? And I think the guy running it got nervous that this woman was just like catatonic in a chair, not doing anything. So he came home on the intercom and he was like, "Hi, just checking in." I was like, "Just tell me when I have to leave, okay? Just tell me when I have to leave." He was like, "I see you're not really trying. Are you having a hard time? Do you need a hint?" I was like, "Can I get a Merlot? Is that possible?" And a murder mystery. Okay, that's what I like. That's what I like. Don't talk to me again. So yeah, so it's nice, and I love my child, and I make fun of him. We all do that. That is part of parenting, I've learned, but I did it older. So if I say I have a small child, people go, "Oh, because I did it much later in life." When I was pregnant, you know, they call it a geriatric pregnancy. They call it, beautiful words, right? Pregnant at an advanced maternal age. I always considered myself both high risk and an inspiration. Yeah, he's a good kid, I think. I don't know. I call him my good egg because I know for a fact he was my last good egg. And I can't believe I had this kid biologically, but we're raising him adopted because I want him to feel chosen. Okay, I want him to feel chosen. But as a woman, first of all, as a woman, if you do anything off of society's time clock for you, you get a lot of judgment, you get a lot of questioning, a lot of stupid questions. I remember when I was pregnant, a woman just came up to me and pointed my belly, assuming stuff, and she just went, "Oh my God, in vitro?" And I was like, "No, indico," you know? I was strolling my kid, you know, he was like, I think he was like 2.5, and a man I did not know came up to me, and he said, "Is that your first child?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "That's wonderful, wonderful. May I ask you, how long were you trying?" I know, and I was just so shocked I answered. I was like, I think it was 5 or 6 minutes. I remember Game of Thrones was on pause. And then the magic happened. But I think the most common one is that people go, "Oh, was he a surprise?" I know how it happened, okay? It was like, yeah, oh my goodness, I was walking down the street and a vat of sperm fell on me, and I was surprised! Must have been that toilet seat at the train station. No, I know exactly how it happened. It was Valentine's Day. I had just come back from traveling. I had put together nothing, but my husband had made dinner reservations and bought me a gift, okay? And I felt guilty. Surprise, everybody, surprise. That's the one, that is the one. Yeah, and so I think it's going back in school, weird times, oh my goodness. I only have one child, by the way. That is the other thing. As a woman, you have no children. It was like this, "What do you get a child? What do you get a child?" And then you have one child, and they're like, "What do you get with another child? Never enough for you people, never enough." And I'm having one kid, that's it. I could give 2 kids shitty lives. Or I could give one kid a very mediocre life. Okay? That's what I can handle. But he's back in school, although the teacher sent me a little note because they were talking about collections. I think I have a smart kid. Probably everyone says that too. He's 6 years old, but I think he's as smart as an 8-year-old but he has the attitude of a teenager, but the maturity of a toddler. So basically your average adult man. And I say that as I back off, they do. I say that anytime I feel like I say something like that to, if I said to a woman, you're immature and dumb, you would be like, I'm insulted, don't speak to me like that, and I will try to improve. But I say that to a man, and they're like, yeah. It's amazing. It's like admirable, truly admirable. Truly admirable. I want to be you. But my little smart kid in class, I guess they were talking about collections, and they were like, what do you collect? And I think he said Pokemon cards. And then they said, do your parents collect anything? And my son said, yeah, my mom collects wine bottles. Wine bottles, very nice, child, very nice. Wine, that's the answer, wine. Say I collect wine. People will be like, oh, how sophisticated. She must have a fridge or a cellar or a rack. But we all know where the wine bottle collection lives. That's in the recycle bin because we're too exhausted to take it out. Wine. And then the next day they were telling time, and they were like, what do you call it when the big hand is on the 5 and the little hand's on the 12? And he was like, 1 o'clock. I wish I had. In the place that I'm staying at, there is a napkin that said Live, Love, Lake. I was like, no, I can't do it. Live, Love, Lake. That's amazing. All these, you don't live, love, laugh, all these takes. Does anyone have, by the way, like inspirational sayings or motivational sayings on their, in their home decor? Does anyone have any? Yes? What do you have? What do you have? You have a wine one? Excellent. What do you have? Which one? Because there's many of them. Got it. I love it. Okay, what's one?
Bare your soul.
What's that?
Bare your soul.
Bare your soul. That's not a wine one, is it? Or is that like that you after a bottle, then you, okay. Bare your soul, that is deep. That is very deep. But you have a whole bunch of them in your house? Yeah, and you like looking at them, they make you feel like inspired? 3 of them. All right, that's good. Yeah, how do you feel about them in professional settings? Kind of weird, right? Yeah, it's happening though. I went to my friend's office. She's a lawyer. My friend's a lawyer, and they have them in all of their offices. I went to her office. It said right beside her desk, manifest your success. I was like, wow, that is good. And she was like, yeah, we all have them. It keeps us motivated. I was like, as lawyer, listen, I don't want to go into surgery and see that my doctor has on the operating table, like, you can do hard things. I would be like, whoa, what? No. Right before he slices me open, he just whispers, showing up is 90%. I'd be like, no, you need 100 at all times. Like, I don't need to know many people are on self-esteem journeys, you know? Like, I don't need to know that, especially medical professionals. They should be megalomaniacs with a God complex. That's who I want them to be like, I manifest your success. I'd be like, good, we're in good hands. And I joke about the wine o'clock thing. I like a glass of wine. I can't wait to experience wine country tomorrow. Oh, the North Fork. I'm sure everyone here is like, with global warming, we're going to be the next thing after France. Ha 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 ha! We do a lot of that, right? Yeah. So that is an upside. I actually remember, I drink a glass of wine here and there, but I remember when I found out I was pregnant. It was not a surprise, but it was a shock. I found out, and I was on my way to an event, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go, but I am not going to tell anyone, and I'm not going to drink. And then I went to this event, and I saw a friend, and they're like, hey, let's go to the bar. What are you having? Let me get you something. Do you want a glass of wine, or what do you, vodka soda? What do you want? And I was like, no, I'll just have a water, thank you. And she was like, good for you, Ophira. I was like, thank you so much. She's like, yeah, I'm happy you came to that decision before we all had to come and talk to you. I was like, you jerk, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm pregnant. She was like, oh my God! Nobody thinks you should be a mother! So, it's true. After a while, if you push it off. Nobody, there's more, people think you're just sober. They're just like, oh, that makes much more sense. Makes much more sense. Yeah, and it is much more than I bargained for in terms of, I just feel like overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. It is, I have to take care of so many things. I've got to take care of my child. I have to take care of my husband. I have to take care of myself. I have seven orchids. If you know anything about orchids, you got to put a lot of time and effort into that plant to get it to bloom, okay? You can take care of it or a kid. That's why it's called an orchid. But, that is the mom joke of dad jokes right there. That is the mom joke of dad jokes right there. But nobody else is doing botanical humor. I'm just saying that right now. Nobody else is doing plant-based jokes. Just me. That is my corner. And I'm glad to see us all together with some people with masks. I think that's great. I personally, COVID, I guess, is over by mutual decision. I've had it twice. I had the original Alpha strain. I had the OG, and yeah, first rung, and then I had Omicron. And I'm not gonna say Omicron isn't COVID, like compared to the original strain. You know, it's kind of like seeing Hamilton in Cleveland. You know, like it's not the same show. All right, it's not exactly the same show. Because when I had the original one, oh, that was like the dark ages. People were like, "Don't ever come near me again!" Like they were so scared. I got it. I understood. But with Omicron, I remember telling my friend, I was like, I can't go out. I tested positive. She was like, me too, but I'm totally going out. You know, like, I went to work. Woo! What? And I got it, the original one, from my son. I got it from my son. He was going to grade 1 every fortnight, and he came home with a fever, and we all ran to the doctor. And my little son tested positive, but my husband and I tested negative. So the doctor turned to me and said, "Okay, can you quarantine from him?" I was like, "I've been wanting to do that for a very long time." Are you saying it's medically recommended? Is that what you're saying, that it's medically recommended? And what does that look like exactly? Do I put him in a hotel room? Throw Sesame Street on the television, keep the room service rolling, and take off for 14 days. Is that doctor's orders? Write it down, doctor's orders. But of course we couldn't do that. No, of course not. So at that night, we're at home in our little Brooklyn apartment, and I was holding my son because he was not feeling great. I was fine. I was just scared. And then I remember the moment that he sneezed into my open mouth. And I was like, I think that's one of the ways you can get this. I remember reading something deep on the CDC website about this. So yeah, we got it. Made it through, thank goodness. But there was a moment there where I was like, my son could have killed me. And you know what? I'm a good parent, so I'm never going to let him forget it. Yeah! Never going to let him forget it. Hopefully he grows up to be just another average, crappy teenager, that wants to do everything, and then I'll want to restrict him, and he'll be mad, and maybe he'll even say something dumb like, you know what, Mom? I wish you were dead. I'm already tried that! But did it work? No, it did not. So you better sit your butt back down and finish Mommy's manicure. That's right. You're mine. You are mine. I witnessed some fights. I live in Brooklyn. I take the subway all the time in New York. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys how many people moved here from New York? I know that DC moved a lot of you. And then how many people here have been here basically as long as they can remember? Okay, and okay. How many people are just brokers? Just finishing up the season, got it? Yeah, so I take the subway all the time. I take it very late at night as well, after the clubs. And, it's a little rough. So I got on the subway. It was a couple months ago. It was 1 a.m., prime time. It's a hard time to take the subway. I walked on, and I got onto the car. It was just me and two guys, two men. And which is not a great situation, but this is my personality. Not everyone's a problem, okay? Not even everyone that looks weird is a problem. This is how I assess people. I go, are you a threat or just a New York character? Because they're just odd people, but they're just characters. So one guy was sitting down and he had on a mask, but he was shaking. Like his whole body was just kind of shaking. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't know what that is. Is that like anxiety, heroin? Who knows? New York character, okay? And the other guy was standing up and he had on a lot of beaded bracelets. New York character. But he had a fedora. Threat. Yeah. And no mask. And he had on no mask. And so I am just sort of off, at the end of the car, just away from them. And I'm looking at them because the guy with the mask on that's shaking is staring intently at the fedora man with the mask off. And he's getting more and more agitated. And finally he stands up and he walks over to the guy. And I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And he goes up to the guy and he goes, hey man, you gotta put on a mask, okay? Because it's not just for you or for me, it's for all of us. And then he points to me, and I was like, no. I'm not even here. I'm not even here. And the unmasked guy goes, no thank you, but have a good day. Have a good day. No thank you, but have a good day. Have a good day. It was like weird repetitive politeness. We're getting closer to threat, right? We're getting closer to threat. But the mask guy didn't let up. He went right back to me and went, no man, you gotta put on a mask, okay? Because Fauci tells us to. Yeah, the word Fauci was like a password into the unmasked guy's soul. To like unlock his crazy. And he started walking up and down the car, yelling, just going, Fauci is an actor! Fauci is an actor! Hired from Hollywood, Fauci is an actor! And I just leaned in and went, what else has he appeared in? And the guy was like, no man, Fauci's not an actor, okay? I like Fauci. And you want to know why I like Fauci? Because he's from Brooklyn, like me. And the unmasked guy goes, oh yeah, you're from Brooklyn? He goes, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. And you know who else I like who's from Brooklyn? Captain America. And the unmasked guy goes, I like Captain America. And the masked guy goes, hey, you like Captain America? Well, you know who I don't like so much? Spider-Man. And you want to know why? And they both go, because he's from Queens. And then they have a little chatter about the Marvel Universe. And then the unmasked guy fishes out a mask from his back pocket and puts it on, and he goes, I'm not doing it for you, and I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for Captain America. I'm doing it for Captain America. I was like, oh my God, did I just witness the two stupidest people on the planet finally talking? Or was that masked man Captain America? I am now part of America. I'm a Canadian originally, and I moved here almost 20 years ago. I moved here illegally. Look at this face. This is also the face of an illegal alien. Look at me, right here. That's right. And then I got married for love and a green card. And then I had a child, anchor baby, and then last year I became an American citizen. So, thanks everybody. I like joining things as they end. And we don't know. Is that a fun point? Is that a fun point? You never know with these plans. It's good. I joke, I got married for love and a green card, but I did get married we got married earlier than we expected because I was like, I need to figure this stuff out. And I married a great guy. We've been married 16 years, but then a year and a half in a small Brooklyn apartment during a global pandemic, so we've been married 47 years. It's actually not the years, it's the minutes that get you. Because I gotta say, we work from home. Oh man, working from home. Our kitchen table is also our office. And we sit there, and he's got his laptop facing this way, and I've got my laptop facing this way, and we're both just ticky-tackying, doing our little email. And I have said to him, the way you exhale is excruciating. Okay, the next time you breathe out, you turn your face that way, all right? Because I can't look at it one more time. But say back at me, because he's in a Zoom meeting, like he's in a professional meeting, and I'm just there. Hi! It's so weird. And I'm right across from him, and I just took a sip of water, and I swallowed it wrong and started choking. And he just went like this to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. This is where my relationship is at. Like, he's shooing me away on my last breath, My final words are gonna be, mute them! Mute them! And it's so funny, my kid could have said my dad collects comic books, because I married a comic book nerd. We have comic books all through our apartment. He loves comics, he loves Star Wars. Oh my God, he loves Star Wars. He loves Harry Potter. He's just nerd, but very good looking. That's a great combination, right? Low self-esteem, but attractive. Get it! And yeah, the Star Wars thing is real. My kid's name is Lucas. It's real. I like the name Lucas too, not for the Star Wars reason. I like the name because when I moved to America, I was single. When I moved to New York, I was single, and I dated a lot of guys. Okay? Some people call that slutty. In Canada, where I'm from, we call it being nice. So when I found out I was pregnant with a boy, I was like, oh my goodness, are there any boys' names left out there for me that don't have like a memory attached? And you know you're in trouble when you're having this conversation. Oh no, we can't call him Hercules. No. That name is also taken. Yeah, it's also taken. And now it's so funny, everyone asks me, what's your kid's sign? Horoscopes are back, everybody. Have you noticed that astrology is back? People are interested in astrology again? That's how we've really lost hope. That's how you know. Horoscopes. Horoscopes are for the lost and the weak, okay? And I know that's a very Capricorn thing to say, but... And I did read my horoscope. You read them online. You read your horoscope online, and I read my daily horoscope today, I will say, for fun and guidance. And I read it online, and I didn't like it, okay? I didn't like it. So I just went to another site and read it there, and I didn't like that one either. So I went to another site and read it there, and I was like, this one is just badly written. I can't take it seriously. So I went to another site and read it there. I bounced around. I read it on 12 sites. Till I got to one that I was like, this is the one, because it had everything I liked. You know, it was like, money is coming your way. I was like, yeah, this is it. It's like, you're gonna have an amazing new home in your future. I was like, I knew that would happen. The flame of romance burns bright. I was like, this is my daily horoscope, as prescribed by the stars, and the cosmos, and the planets, for Ophira, Eisenberg, the Capricorn. And then I had a moment where I was like, oh my God, I have never felt closer to an anti-vaxxer in my entire life. See, I did my own research, everybody. Astrologically, I did my own research. I cherry-picked through the internet till I found the truth. I wanted to be my reality, all right? And that's such a Gemini thing to do. Truly, that is a Gemini. I go to therapy. Anyone else therapy? Therapy? Yeah. Just the young people? Got it. Okay, got it. They do it because of the rest of us. Yeah, I go to therapy. My therapist would like to asks me if I would like to get on antidepressants. I haven't done it yet. I might, but if I do, I will leave my therapist because I can't let her think she won. But we did have this conversation where I was having a hard time and I thought I was not doing a good job with my son. And I said to her, I think I'm ruining him about my son. And she said this thing that so many people had to say. And she goes, no, Ophira. Little kids are so resilient, okay? Little kids are so resilient. I was like, okay, but then why am I talking to you every week about my childhood? How does that pan out? Yeah, just curious. Because now one of my little situations goes like this. Oh, and then when I was 10 years old, I just bounced back. Yeah. Things got better and better. Oh, I don't need therapy. I just need a fun room to tell my great stories of strength. No, that is not the way it goes. And she was like, how are things with your husband? My husband and I, we have like stupid fights. We just have stupid fights. I think this is stereotypical fights. He said this to me. He said, since I've been married to you, I have never been right. I was like, well, you were just then. That's one. That is one. You can build on that, can't you? And he will never clean up after himself. You know, we always thought, we blamed on stuff. Like he would be like, no, I don't clean up because I've got to go to work and the office and this and busy, whatever. And then everything was removed and it was the same. I was like, oh my goodness, no, this is just who you are. You will never pick up after yourself. And I just have to accept it and realize that thing they say, you know, like every time God closes one door, my husband will leave a cupboard or drawer open. And then we had one intense fight where he called me passive-aggressive. Thank you. And I told him to go fuck himself. In an email. Saved in drafts. But he'll find it. He'll find it. I'm just going to tell a little story and then we will all whisk off into our North Fork evening. What's traffic going to be like, everybody? Just us, yeah. I hope no one has to make a left turn. Does anyone have to make a left turn? Just before my son could read, you know, I was given a whole bunch of fun games for him by some friends, and one of them was packs of playing cards, but they were all, you know, you could play with any pack of cards, but these were animated pictures with fun cartoons for different games. So there was one deck for Crazy Eights, and there was one deck for Go Fish, with like cute fish on them. There was a deck for a matching game, and then there was Old Maid. Old Maid, everybody, that still exists. How is that possible? If you don't remember what Old Maid is, it was born in the Victorian era, and the game is played that you make pairs, and 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and then whoever is left with the Old Maid card in their hand at the end loses, because the whole idea is like the last thing you'd ever want in like your life is to be stuck with an old lady. That is unwed, but I think the emphasis is old lady, right? And of course, like I'm looking at this and I'm wondering too, cancel culture has not touched Old Maid at all. We're fine with it. We're like, man, that's cool. Why hasn't it been canceled? Because even updated? How about just update it? You can make it cute, update it to other things nobody wants. Messy roommate. Guy who talks about cryptocurrency. Elon Musk, call it whatever you want. Or if you want to continue down the sexist path, you can call it career woman, or, you know, woman who says my body, my choice, whatever. Old Maid. You know, and so I'm like, I don't want to discuss this game with my 6-year-old son. I don't want to talk about this narrative about how society sees women and calling them maids and what it's about, even in these like light little game turns. And you know, and it's because I'm wed, but I'm older and I'm an older mom. And when you get pregnant older, although they have terrible terms for you, you're kind of treated like a miracle vessel. It's like, oh my God, good for you, must have great eggs. Like they just say all these bizarre things. But then once you have the kid, everyone's like, good luck. Then you're just done. And I noticed that, I live in New York, where everyone's like, oh, there's lots of women who had children older. But when I go to pickup at school, I feel like I am one of the older ones. And I kind of hide it. I feel a little shameful. Like all of these other moms are talking about how they're exhausted, but their skin still snaps back. All the dads are talking about angst. Angst, it hasn't rolled over into defeat. And I even sometimes hide just my experiences or my wisdom or just my social, cultural references so I can fit in. I'll be like, no, I have no idea what it was like when they introduced Elmo. That must have been weird. He was always there in my life, always. I love him. Brontosaurus is back. I had no idea he left. And I feel guilty. I feel guilty sometimes that I don't want my son to ever have to think about it, which I know is, you can't protect him, but I am the youngest of 6, and my mother had me when she was older. And I remember as soon as I could do math, I would be like, I wonder how old I'll be how old my mom will be when I'm 40? How old will my mom be when I'm 50? How old will my mom be when I'm 60? And I just don't want him to do that. So here we are with this old maid deck. Of course, he has it in his hands, and he's rifling through the cards, and he's looking, they're all cartoons again, and he's looking at the card of the old maid. And it's a cartoony girl with dark hair in a yellow dress, and he goes, Mom, she looks just like you! And he goes, what's this game called? And I just mutter, Old Maid, and he's staring at this card with the yellow dress, and he goes, Gold Maid? And I go, yeah, it's called Gold Maid. It's called Gold Maid. And he goes, how is it played? And I'm going like, how is it played? And I'm thinking, maybe I can change the narrative. Maybe I can really quickly invent a new way to play this game that has a much more positive outlook on how culture sees women. But I'm struggling. I'm starting to say words, but I just haven't put it together. And I'm like, okay, well, you gotta make pairs and 3 of a kind, and then whoever ends up with that card in their hand at the end, and my son goes, wins! And I go, yeah, that's it, exactly. It's called Gold Maid. And you play, and then the point of the whole game is to try to get that card. And at the end, whoever has the gold maid at the very end wins. And my son, cute little kid, goes, oh my God, let's play. And I say to him, we already are. Thank you so much.